Hello, friends. Welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio, episode 199. I'm getting so excited as we're nearing our 200th episode. Today, we're talking about the practically unbelievable joy of mind sweeping. And if you're wondering what that is, we will dive into that today. If you're new to Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. I really want to help people to enjoy their families, take care of themselves, and live their purpose, and be able to wake up excited and go to bed content. So today we're going to talk about mind sweeping, which is a principle that has really helped me for over a decade. And I hope that it's something that you can incorporate into your life because it's going to bring a lot of relief if you do it optimally. Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. Last week, Eric and I had a Zoom meeting with Taryn. She's one of our STEP coaches and an amazing team member here at Learn, Do, Become. And when we started the call, I asked how she was doing, and she let me know she had a lot going on, but right before our call, she did a mind sweep, and she felt much better. And she actually had a little piece of paper, and she held up her piece of paper that had her mind sweep on it. And then I kind of laughed and I told her that I had also just done a mind sweep. And so I held up my paper and we took a little screenshot. I'm like, you're my soul sister, Taryn. The two of us doing mind sweeps before we get on a call. I mean, okay, maybe you might think we're nerds, but I just love her and I love that we did that. Eric was just laughing. He thought we were ridiculous, but it was funny. Okay, so a mind sweep is an incredibly powerful tool. But most people don't really know when and how to do them and what to do with the mind sweep once it's completed. So today I'm just going to share a few principles. Now, if I were defining a mind sweep, I'd probably just say it's a process that helps you take all the commitments, ideas, worries, projects, tasks, reminders, etc. out of your brain and onto a piece of paper or into a digital note. David Allen, author of Getting Things Done, always talks about how our brains are great for having ideas, but not holding ideas. So when you get to that point where you feel like you can't focus on anything and you're feeling stressed about a bunch of things that you need to, want to, wish you could do, it's probably a great time to do a mind sweep. You don't just have to do it with a weekly review, or you don't have to wait or just do it when you first build your STEP Command Central. I do a mind sweep whenever I feel like my brain's getting a little fuzzy. Even this morning, I was feeling frustrated about a lot of things and I could feel myself kind of shutting down. And I went into the bedroom by myself, got out a sheet of paper and just wrote down, what are all the worries I have? Like, what's on my mind? And it was a lot. I mean, some of it was like stuff I was worried about with some other people, and some of it were like situational things that were frustrating me, and some of it was stuff right in the moment. And anyway, mind sweeping, when you just take that time, I think of it like we're clearing all the nooks and crannies of our brain. What is it? Let's figure it out. And as I thought about this, I wanted to make sure that I was clarifying, how many situations we could be in where a mind sweep would be appropriate. And I just wrote down a few. So I wrote down in the morning when I wake up and I'm thinking through a particularly full day ahead, sometimes just jotting things down, just kind of getting everything out. Or let's say it's after a series of meetings or errands or events, etc., when a lot of new information has come my way. I'm sure you've had those days, right? Or events where there's just so much in your head and just having some time to get it all out of your brain. So good. Or as I'm closing up my work for the day, I might think through all the different commitments I made or ideas I had or like all these little things, little voice memos I recorded for myself. Like I might just want to do a quick mind sweep and just get it all together. Or let's say you have an enlightening conversation or you attend a great class or you spend time reading a book. That also might be a great time to do a mind sweep and be able to just really pull everything out that you thought about. And then, of course, during the weekly review. So anyway, those are just a few examples that I put together. But I want you to think of mind sweeps as like a companion to an organized, calm life. Because your brain most likely is active and alert and constantly learning. And with all the information coming at us today with social media and our smartphones and all of that, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed. So if you think about mind sweeping as a companion to your day, then I think it feels happier and you realize you don't have to hold a bunch of stuff in your head. And it's really natural to just want to write things down and get it out. Okay, so when you actually do a mind sweep, you're essentially asking what details are floating around in my head, okay? So we have a full mind sweep trigger list inside of our STEP program, but here are just a few questions to get you started. Maybe you might want to do one, right after you listen to this. What do you need to do to prepare for upcoming events? Maybe think about whether it's going to someone's house, or maybe you're throwing a party, or maybe there's a celebration coming up, okay? Who do you want to contact? Has there been a person on your mind, or someone you need to reach out to for help or advice, or someone you just want to follow up with? What insights do you want to remember? I love this because a lot of times if I'm on a walk or reading a book or thinking about something, I'll have a little thought and I don't want to lose it. So those are often written down. In fact, a lot of you in this podcast episodes come from, I'm taking a shower and I have this idea. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go write that down. What past events need some kind of follow-up? So this is where you can think, oh yeah, I actually went to that meeting and I told this person I would send them that thing or whatever, okay? What opportunities do you want to pursue? Is there anything you need to buy, return, clean, organize, drop off, pick up, coordinate, etc.? What's weighing on you? That's what I did this morning. Man, sometimes it's not fun to think about those things, but it's helpful. What feels exciting to you? Anytime something makes my heart leap, I want to write that down. So I remember, oh yeah, I love that. I love that feeling. I love that song. I love that, that energy of that person, or, oh, I want to follow this YouTube channel or whatever. And where can I or you best direct our energy? Where's the best place for it to go? I'm reading a book right now called 10x is easier than 2x. And it's talking about the 80-20 principle and how we need to really decrease the number of things we're working on so we can do them better. So I've been asking myself that a lot. Where can I best direct my energy? I don't want to spin my wheels. And that's a really hard question sometimes, but it's a helpful one. And really, so as we talked about when we can do a mind sweep and what kind of questions we can ask ourselves, that's great. But the most important part of the mind sweep is then what we do with it afterwards. So prior to learning how to use a STEP Command Central, I used to just make a long list and then I would look at it a lot and I would try to check things off. I remember one time I was sitting at our kitchen table. We had 3 children under the age of 4 and they were all down for a nap. And I was at the kitchen table trying to empty my brain and figure out everything I had to do. And I kind of did. I had this long list with both sides of a piece of paper. Then after I finished making the list, I was like, all right, I guess I'll start working on this. So I just kept that piece of paper with me throughout the week and just, I don't know, I didn't get much done. I still felt stressed. But really, that list could have been taken apart and put into a STEP Command Central, and that would have made all the difference. I just didn't know how to make it. Now, if you're not yet a stepper and you don't know what a STEP Command Central is, or you're brand new to the podcast, if you go to learndobecome.com/directory, you can see all of our different podcasts and videos and resources all organized there, and you can find more information on a STEP Command Central. But basically today, I just want to walk you through the main idea, which is that you focus on certain things daily, weekly, and as needed. For today's podcast, the as needed section is probably the best place to start when you're processing your mind sweep, because this is where you can just file things quickly. You can put them in someday or incubation. You can create calendar triggers and utilize your tickler file, or you can put things in your support cubbies. But essentially, you're creating a specific filing system, not just a filing cabinet, that will make things really easy to find or let go of when the time is right. But there are no time-specific pending tasks. So an example would be if you had a page of notes from a book you read and you don't want to lose them, but you don't need to do anything about them right now, they would just go into your filing system. And that's how the whole Command Central is put together. And you can learn more about that, okay, in other podcasts, but I'll keep moving. Okay, weekly section is next. That's where you could take anything that can wait until your once a week weekly review and just put it in your inbox. Or you could have a digital note with a calendar trigger reminding you to look at it during your weekly review. So an example would be a list of all the new projects that came into your mind, or a bunch of goals or attributes, etc., that you want to achieve and develop. We don't always have time for the higher level thinking during a busy week. But during a weekly review, we have the chance to prioritize our projects. We have current, in process, next in line, and someday. And we can update our goals file, and we can think about our life from a broader perspective. So, for example, when I sat down and did my mind sweep this morning, and I have all these things that are on my mind and things that are, kind of concerning me, those are things now I can look through that more deeply during my weekly review and think, okay, what can I do, stepping back to solve some of these issues or to prioritize some of these things so they don't weigh on me more in the future. Sometimes we kind of get over it and we think, oh, it's fine, I'll just deal with it later. But then just keeps coming back and bothering us over and over again. So this is where I want you to feel empowered and excited, where if something is bothering you, you can write it down. It'll eventually get to you during your weekly review, and then that can turn into a goal or project, and you can start overcoming the things that have been really weighing you down. So once you've extracted the as needed and weekly items from your mind sweep, what's left will either be calendar specific tasks, like I'm doing this on Friday or this on Sunday, next actions, that's our next actions list. That's a weekly list organized by context, or it's 2-minute tasks you could just knock out right then. So that's what's so fun is if I could go back to myself, back 2004 when I was making my big long list and say, okay, look, highlight all of these. These are going to go on your as needed list. And look, highlight all of these. That's going to go on your weekly list. Now look what's left. So easy. Calendar, next actions list, 2-minute rule, done. Like how fun does that feel, right? And I know it sounds kind of silly or simplistic, but it is the best feeling when you take a chaotic mind sweep and then put everything in your Command Central within minutes. Because if you've built your Command Central optimally, nothing will be left on the mind sweep. Everything has a home. That's what freed my brain. That's why I've been teaching this and doing this for over a decade, like nearly 15 years, because it had that much of a transformation on my life. Your brain will feel calmer. You'll have more confidence in your ability to get things done. And you'll see that no matter how hectic life can feel, you can transform that into peace and mental clarity. And then just think how you'll be able to love and support the people in your life when your mind is calm and clear. Because when my mind is all over the place, I am snapping at people, I'm down on myself, I'm frustrated, I'm flustered, I'm missing things, I feel like I'm letting everyone down, mostly myself. I lose that sense of excitement for life because it's like, well, what else does someone want from me? I don't know if you've ever felt that way, but I felt that way. And then when I got my Command Central built and everything had a place, and then my house was just staying clean, and then I was moving forward on projects, and I started like writing and speaking and doing things that felt like, they make a difference for other people. Then my confidence went up, and then we were able to build and grow and solve problems. And that, it just changed everything. So if there's any part of you feeling overwhelmed, there are things you can do to get out of the overwhelm. And if you have a structure in place, it's going to feel so good. So mind sweeping in itself is great, just getting all out. But then when you can put it into your Step Command Central, it's pretty fun. You're going to love it. All right. I'm sending lots of love. If you want to learn more about our STEP program, where you can build the full Command Central with all the support of Team Learn, Do, Become, go to learndobecome.com/step for our introductory training. And if you're not yet in our Arise membership, this is where we come together to not only, get organized and build a Command Central, but then to apply it to the other areas of our lives. So we're strong relationally, and our health is great, and we're financially strong, and we're living our purpose. We're drawing closer to our higher power. If you want to be part of a community that's really working to live more fully with the STEP Command Central, then come become an Ariser. You can learn about that at learndobecome.com/arise. I am so grateful for you. Sending a big hug, and we will see you in the next episode, number 200. All right, take care. See you soon at learndobecome.com.